Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're rocking and rolling. We're going live, as you could probably tell. Anyway, jumping into the dollar, just like we normally do. Sorry, guys, we're going to go over the dollar, U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, Bitcoin, the S&P, the Nasdaq, Grandpa Dow, and then we'll probably have to cover Tesla. So, and anything else the chat wants to throw in there, I'm sure we will cover. All right, so looking at the dollar again, playing the back and forth game. Nothing's changed. Just bouncing in between these two yellow zones. So I don't know what's going on. That's a weird answer. Not that I don't know what's going on. We have to wait to find out if we're bullish or bearish. You know, bullish above this yellow zone, bearish below here. Sorry, I got a little. You see the little oracle in the background. She was making faces, and that really threw me off. All right, as far as the dollar goes, I am actually short the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen. Now, I told you guys I did that the other day. I don't know if I'm actually up or down. It's at one point it was up, but it looks like right now I might be at break even. So keep an eye there, wanting that to reject. So I'm actually hoping, as far as the U.S. dollar goes, that we actually break this and head south. But right now, that's what a reversal starts to look like. So that's kind of where I'm at. All right. The Bitcoin. For everyone that's new here, this is normal. So Bitcoin, it had a green day at first, ran right up into that yellow zone, and then rejected. So we pushed all the way up to just shy of 87. Yeah, 87 something. Rejected that yellow zone. And that's why I talked about we can't really be bullish until we probably get above this zone. It would be a bullish thing if the bulls could even get it above that yellow zone. But I do draw them for a reason. I will extend this out, though. What I'm keeping an eye out here is because I won't actually trade this trend line. I don't trade Bitcoin. I just buy it every week. It doesn't matter whether it's up or down. It's automated. So, but getting above, kind of breaking that trend, I think a lot of people are probably watching this lower high. So if we can even push this up to horizontal, I think that would be a pretty bullish thing. Oh, TikTok says they can't hear me. 1 second. All right, YouTube, you can hear me, right? Let me grab the settings real quick. Should be able to hear me. Microphone device. Okay, YouTube can hear me. TikTok just kind of sucks. Give me one hot second. Can you hear me yet? Device not connected or not available. Give me one hot second, guys. Other than that, this is why you should just stay on YouTube. Audio mixer not connected. General settings. Yeti save. Is that good? Okay, now you guys should be able to hear me. All right, can you guys hear me yet? For everyone watching this on YouTube, sorry about that. I don't know what to say. All right, perfect. Now you guys can hear me. See, TikTok. I know you guys don't want to ever leave, but YouTube heard me the whole time. Thanks for letting me know about that in the chat, by the way. All right, so watching Bitcoin just reject that. Honestly, until that does change, I would assume we kind of continue the grind down. And I really just think that's just partly with the market. I just don't think there's any buyers. And that's why I think we're just slowly, as people trickle out, sell what they have kind of thing. I don't think there's any real volume or any real move to one side or the other right now. You say buy SPY calls, right? Well, I can't say that because what I did today was buy SPY puts. And you guessed it. If you didn't, it's probably because you're new here. When SPY was actually up in this zone right here, I bought SPY puts. So now, again, we talked about this. We even joked about it this morning because, yesterday? Yeah, it was a zone-to-zone play. And then I said, watch me go right, joking about it, zone to zone. Sold off, jumped back up there, hit it again. And that's when I bought puts, August puts. They are up right now. ultimately, and like I told you guys yesterday, TikTok, sorry if you guys aren't here. I'm doing a YouTube video every day. So that's why I'm speaking like this, because they already saw yesterday's video where I said if we don't get above this yellow zone, I'm buying puts. There just wasn't enough momentum. There wasn't enough juice, conviction. There was no real story behind these buyers right here. If you're bullish, you're probably hoping and praying something like this is panning out. And maybe it does. Time will tell. But I just don't think that's the bottom anymore. Which is why I went with August. Now, I didn't do it today, but as this sells off, I'll actually sell puts against it. So I'll make money in the meantime, little micro calendar spreads as it sells off. So I want to make money on the puts. I'll also sell more puts against it, kind of like when people do covered calls. This is actually a poor man's covered put strategy. Poor man's covered call, same thing. You buy an options contract and you sell contracts against it. Your original contract that you went long is actually your collateral. That is your 100 shares. So I'll make money a couple ways out of that put. And if I'm just wrong, then we'll just make a little bit of money and hopefully we don't lose it. Gregory says that worked out. It did. So right now, that would be absolutely amazing. What would we grab? We grab the 560s. And by we, I just mean I did, but I post everything I do live. So if you're part of my Discord or Patreon, TikTok, it's a link in bio. I think is what I'm supposed to say. YouTube, it's the top pinned comment. Always is. Let's say we go 20%, 488. Whew. Now those puts would be rocking. So I'm going to sell some along the way. Hopefully we nail that. If we go 20%, that would be an absolute home run play on that. It is a bear counter spread, Lisa. Yes. If anyone is going to look that up, that's what I'll be doing in the meantime. Oh, Donnie LSU. Did you buy some SPY calls? We a little on the bullish side? I've heard a lot of people say this is the bottom. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it is. So that's why I had to go short. Looking at the NASDAQ, absolutely the same. We played the back and forth game between these zones. I did not go short the NASDAQ. I'm only short the S&P. And kind of like with what we just went over with the dollar and TikTok here, you probably don't – you want an excuse not to watch me? You don't need to watch anything until we break one of these zones. We could go sideways here forever. It'll probably break tomorrow. But, bullish above this zone, bearish below this zone. We break this, we're headed south. If we break this one to the upside, seeing how much momentum and energy we had here, it would be pretty cool if we even made it to that zone. But, I would be – we got some things to go over. I mean, like that right there is the speed bump zone, so that'll be blue. That's a weird color. Wouldn't be surprised if that's all the high it actually got. We would probably need a surprise catalyst to take it up to there. Bearish is not what we are currently looking at. Yeah, I don't know what's bearish about this chart. You're right. Are we not looking at the same thing? Is there like a lag maybe, or? Now I'm confused. Do I day trade? Well, here's my answer. I buy when it makes sense and I sell when it makes sense. Sometimes that is a day. I focus more on the trade setup than I do the trade. So sometimes it's day trades. Most of the time it's a swing trade. Day trading is really just a lot of scalping. It's like a little bird seed for the pigeons. You don't really make that much. You can if you want to take 6,000 trades a day. I just found I make more by trading it from zone to zone. Where did I put that blue box? It's there. I will add these lines for you guys so you can have that. Hang on. Who said where's that? Is it Gabe? Gabe Gonzalez. He says we're not looking at bearish. And I'm not concerned. Maybe I am a little concerned. Your reading glasses on. Maybe he left. Let me know in the comments down below. If you're watching this as a recording, real quick, what about this looks bearish or bullish to you? You can tell me the bearish points. I would just say Google bear flag, and that would be a picture perfect one. Usually that's a bearish play. Of course, Gabe's going to look brilliant when this is the bottom. And usually when I open my mouth like that, that's what happens. It's not luck that makes me money. My luck is usually bad. What up, Don? I made it today. What's happening? The indices were so indecisive this past week and a half with no momentum to the upside. Huge SMT rejections at a heavy zone right at the NASDAQ. Yeah, I hear you. And that's, again, you might have just joined, but you said it perfectly, kind of what I just said. There was just no momentum to the upside. And then this just barely getting somewhere business tells me we're not there yet. And that's why I don't think the bottom is in. It would take a lot to push this market up catalyst-wise. But, I mean, someone could sneeze and send this thing down. No one's really holding this up. Do you think there's still hope for Tesla? Yeah, stop watching the news. Get off that garbage. Tesla right now is pretty divisive, and the media right now is running away with that. Let's talk about Tesla here in 1 second. Actually, let's cover Grandpa Dow. Hang on, do we do the expected moves? There's no need. We're right there in the middle of both of them. All right, Grandpa Dow. Now, as far as this one goes, if you want to talk about anything being bullish, at least this one's kind of holding its ground. It didn't actually reject that zone. We're just playing that game of tug of war right here. For those of you guys on a mobile device, I'll zoom in. See these wicks to the downside and the upside? Your game of tug of war is happening right here. Right now, in every game, there's a winner and a loser. Stock market's not any different. Someone's arms are going to get tired, and someone else is going to take them through a victory lap. So if you're bullish or bearish, who cares? That's what stop losses are for. You hope to be right, but if you're not, what you don't need to be doing is losing everything. So I'd be keeping an eye on that. Now, at least as far as the Dow Jones, it looks a little bit stronger than the other ones right now. And I don't want to say that too much because the bar is not real high from the S&P and the NASDAQ. Following your zones, you can make a lot day trading futures. Yeah, I used to think that too. And don't get me wrong, people in my group do it all the time. But when you trade a futures contract from zone to zone, you go from making a couple hundred to 10,000. That's from scalping, to a full zone to zone trade. Lately, they've kind of been zone to zone with the volatility. But yeah, so back to the day trading thing. That's why I say I buy when it makes sense and I sell when it makes sense. Sometimes it is just a couple minutes, but I trail my winners. So if we're just going to keep going up, then my stop loss just keeps getting screwed up. I'm on the gain train forever. I'm on the gain train until it stops and turns around. Then I'm out. I will look at Amazon. But let's talk about Tesla real quick, because this is annoying. What senator was it? Was it a senator? No. Who's the guy? Stupid. I don't agree with it at all. He said was he running for vice president? What's it? Someone in the chat, let me know his name. Absolute moron. So he said he put the stock app on his phone just to watch Tesla stock go down to get him excited. And so here he is, a politician rooting for an American company to go down. Like, who's that? Waltz. Yeah, Tim Waltz. Thank you. What a moron. And I don't even get political, guys. I try not to. I'm not going to read that name, who dat, but that is why I'm laughing. Imagine saying you care about Americans and then just rooting for an all-American company started in America, just rooting for them to go down. Like, that guy can just get out of here. So actually, where I live in Kansas City, there was I guess an attack. If you want to, I don't know. Yeah, it's an attack, right? They lit a couple Cybertrucks on fire at the Tesla dealership. There's 3 cases, I think. They're calling it Tesla terrorism. It is treating as an act of domestic terrorism. Can you imagine? You want to do 20 years because you want to go light a Cybertruck on fire? Something that Elon did not touch. You'd have to be, well, you're stupid regardless for even being involved in that. Investors are mad because they've been waiting on Optimus, and Tesla can't release it. That's probably not it at all. I don't think it's just news. Their sales are going down in foreign countries. Yeah, so they're trying to push. First, so there's is it a grain of truth? Grain of truth? It's like a rumor, right? I think the media is exaggerating a lot. Sales are down, but automotive is down. Okay. Automotive sales are down. The economy is just not in a good spot. There is like anti-Tesla movement. They're trying to push that, right? Now, as far as I'm sure some hedge funds have to sell, just because the amount of letters they're probably getting and phone calls saying, I don't want to have my money in your fund if you're going to support that, Nazi, so I'm sure there is some of that going on because people just need to distance themselves from that drama. And right now it's going through some drama. It's stupid. I don't think Tesla's going anywhere. Elon is not on the assembly line building these things. It's not like he's taking a break from it and Tesla's not functioning. Elon already put together the team that makes everything. So I don't think the ride is over, but I do think this is a dip by as far as that goes. And my group knows this because even YouTube, because last week I sold the 220 puts, made 100% on that. I'm still in the 220 puts sold for this week. So if Tesla is above 220, then I make more free money. And I'm going to do that again probably next week, unless it were to drop on a Monday. And I'm going to keep doing it because I'll buy the shares. Tesla has been on a huge momentum down. At the rate it's going, there's a wild HTF intersection. Okay. That would be insane. And here's the thing, guys. I went short Tesla pretty close to the top. I almost top ticked this thing. And it's not because I hate Elon or I think he's a Nazi. And you'd have to be stupid to think that was a Nazi wave that he almost did it, that he did, like only morons actually believe that. But every time Tesla pushes up, it comes down. This is a momentum ticker. It has a cult following. Characteristically, this is pretty normal for Tesla to do this. I don't really care what the news says about anything. That's why in my investment account, I keep it. But in my trading account, I'm long, I'm short. I play the trend on Tesla, and I've made more than any Tesla investor. Tesla investors get to watch it go down. They get to watch it go up and down all over the place. But, as a trader, this is a great stock. And this is par for the course for Tesla. The only thing that annoys me about Tesla is having to talk about it, because I try to avoid politics in general. There's no point in arguing. You're never going to change anyone's opinion, so it doesn't really matter what your opinions are. And I certainly don't judge you. It's funny watching people argue on social media. But we've never had someone, because we've talked about politicians kind of when there is an important role in regards to money. We've never really had someone like Tesla, a bread and butter ticker, Elon with Tesla, jump into eggs all in one basket, straight to the red side, and become so divisive. When are you a buyer for Tesla? So what it means when I say I sold 220 puts means if it's below 220, I automatically buy shares at 220. Now, these purple zones right here, if you guys want to know where I'm absolutely buying, here, and here. People say, hey, what is your rain or shine event? Like, I'm buying that no matter what. I don't care what the news says. I guess TikTok is okay. So YouTube's this way, TikTok's that way. Okay. These purple zones. I don't mind owning it at 220. And honestly, I don't think that's the bottom for Tesla. I imagine I will. But last week I collected $8 per share. So $800 for free internet money. That was 100% play. This week was $560. Okay. So I can take $8 per share right off my cost, $5.60 right off my cost. So I do it again next week. What's my average cost going to be? It's already going to be sub 200 by the time I actually get a hold of the shares. At these bottom zones, however, sub 200, I'm probably not selling puts. I'm probably buying or selling just straight at the money. What dollar are these purple zones? I will here. You can, if you're part of my Patreon or anything like that, you have my zones. But if you want, screenshot that real quick. These are all the levels right here. The 180 mark is going to be probably a tough one to break, but sub 200 is when I go like, I don't mind owning shares to I'm buying these shares. You probably like it because you're shorting and buying options. As a trader, absolutely love Tesla. Yeah. You'd be foolish not to. I don't care what your opinion is. If you're a trader and you're avoiding a stock like Tesla because your panties are in a bunch over Elon, you're an idiot. And that's trading with your emotions. Everyone that's about to leave an emotional comment, I don't even care. Again, I have an income bias, not a directional bias, not your opinion bias. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if this was Putin's stock. I would trade it. That would be wild if Putin did have a stock, though. I sold a 210 put today on Tesla for 328. Not bad. That's next week. 210. If I can just, I'll keep selling the 220 puts unless I can just squeak by. We've done that before where I sell the 220, it expires worthless on Friday because it's like 221. Monday we drop it down. In that case, I'll drop my strike down as well. Why wouldn't I? But as long as we remain above this zone, I'm going to keep selling the 220s. I don't think anyone cares about his politics. Man, I wish they didn't. It's in chats, it's in the news, and it is incredibly divisive. So I do want to say this. We're going to move on to NVIDIA and Amazon. But while I can't say this publicly, because I think we've been live a couple times, but you've seen Fundamental Friday. TikTok, you haven't. YouTube, you guys have. Fundamental Fridays where we break down one company, and it is just the clipboard numbers, no opinion or anything. But I do that with Mike, right? And that's a website we're building with all the data that you can get. And Mike does not like Elon. He does not like he doesn't like Tesla right now as a stock. He's just not a fan of Elon in general. But that being said, I just want to say, like, if you come to this channel, you are allowed to have a different opinion. It is not just one man rules everything. And most YouTube channels, I feel, are kind of like that. Like, you kind of have to agree with the person making the content, or you're kind of just shunned, So if you say something I don't agree with, I'll comment back. I don't ever actually think we're arguing or anything. They got a Putin coin. I'm not buying a Putin coin. It's got to look like the Tesla. Try first. But anyway, just back to this, because I don't think we can avoid politics with the position Elon is in. We can try to the best we can, but he's just in that role. I've not heard of Brandon Biggs. No. But anyway, I just want to say that on here. You can voice your opinion. And if anyone else, if you want to argue with people in the comments, I'm not going to jump in. You mean I can disagree with you? Yeah. Yeah, that would be boring if everybody agreed with me. I can sit and talk to myself if that's all I wanted to hear was my own thoughts. I wish he supported Trump in other ways and other billionaires do instead of getting involved. That's just as corrupt as everything else, though. I mean, who knows? You want to fight or what? Yeah. Okay, so I guess Brandon Biggs, according to him, we're headed for a planned economic crash worse than the Great Depression. He's a self-proclaimed prophet. That sounds like someone who's a self-proclaimed prophet. I'll be honest. I think we're going to crash. I called the crash out last November. But if I had $1 for every time someone said we're going to have a crash like the Great Depression, I would probably it would give Tesla a run for its money. And I've made a lot of money on Tesla. Every time there's a red candle, this is the worst we're ever going to have. When there's a green candle, it's all-time highs, I promise. You should get on this gain train now. I'll believe it when I see it. And honestly, if I had advice for a new trader, sticking to that. Because remember what everyone's opinions are, how much they don't matter. People are going to vote with their wallets, and that's what we're looking at. Again, guys, we are like a CPA. All we're looking at is receipts. For that candle to show up, a transaction had to take place. So who cares? I don't care if you bought because the tooth fairy told you to. When it shows up on this chart, and I know a bunch of buyers are there, I'm with them. I agree with all their reasons. And I'm also a self-proclaimed prophet. From an investor standpoint, I don't agree with his decisions. Yeah, I don't know. The guy does a lot. As a Tesla company, though, this is why I'm not worried about Tesla. And I don't think it's because of Optimus. Optimus has another issue coming. But Tesla had the opportunity to hire the best talent. Before, I say this as a joke. Remember when Elon said he wasn't a Democrat? But before that, he was like everyone's hero. Now it was the coolest thing in the world to tell somebody I work at Tesla. Tesla had all the talent. Everyone else had second place. No questions asked. Now, by building that team, he already has an amazing company. Like Optimus went from an idea on a napkin to here's our first model 90 days later. Here's our second model 90 days later. Here it is again. We're like, will you please slow it down a little bit? Like all that's kind of already in place. That ball is already rolling. So that's also why I don't like. There's a whole ball of things Elon's doing right now that it's hard to even keep up with. But I also have enough on my plate to worry about someone else. But as the company, I think the company is going to be just fine. Now, there is going to be an AI video coming out. So for everyone on YouTube or TikTok, if you guys are only here for stock news, I'm going to have to break this down. Because Elon, he says his factory is going to be like no humans, right? 2025. BMW following suit. BMW is buying Figure's robot. Remember Figure 1? Figure 2 came out. That's what BMW, that's what's working at the BMW plant. Figure 3, they're about to announce here in a few days. And the cool thing about Figure 3, the CEO and the team are actually taking these robots home to train them. That's their next project. They think they went over their times as far as how long it takes to train a robot on like a manufacturing job. It used to take like weeks or days. I think it was days. Now it's down to a few hours. So like they already got that. Now they're working on the home front because I think the home front, there's just it's so much more because it's not repetitive. They mentioned like, how do you train a robot not to knock a candle over when you don't know, like there's candles come in so many shapes and sizes. Everything at the home is different, ever changing. So they said in a couple of years, they think they'll be in the home front. But if there's going to be trouble for Optimus, it's going to be Figure 3. Optimus they're both going to come out with their next bot. But I am very curious to see who wins this rate because I promise you, we talked about automotive, the cars with Tesla. That won't shake a stick at the robot industry. Now even Figure says these robots are going to cost about $30,000. Same with Elon, the price of a Corolla. If that is even remotely true, a $30,000 robot, that's expensive if you flip burgers. I get, and sorry if that's expensive to you and you don't flip burgers. But in the grand scheme of things, it does your chores, your laundry, dishes. Your house is always clean. The Figure says you can call and talk to it, tell it to do things. That's cheap. And Figure thinks you're not going to have one robot in the house. You're going to have multiple. And that's right, because I am. I 100% know that I am. And I kind of want to buy one of each and host some like fight nights. That's what we do as Americans. But anyway, I'm pumped for this. But that's going to be huge. Not to mention, you're probably not going to want to vandalize a Tesla dealership when they have robots as security that don't eat, sleep, and like in China has the factory. I don't know if you guys know this, but China has a factory that's all bots. I think it's called the Dark Factory. I got to look into that. There's no lights. And at first I thought that was weird, but robots don't need them. Join the mentorship and you'll be buying robots in no time. That's right. That's some Megan Fox movie stuff. Yeah, the Megan Fox movie. I did a video talking about that. You guys need to watch that movie. The last quarter of that movie, it's what you'd expect. The first 3 quarters of that movie, amazing. Cyborg Wars, next reality TV show. No, you know what's going to be the next big thing? So this is going to be cool. Once we introduce these robots to war and we teach them how to fight, the slogan for that will be like, no soldier is going to die anymore. It's just going to be robots, right? They'll be much more efficient at killing and everything. So that's going to be cool. We're not going to be the ones that have it. So China's going to have it. We'll finally get to go to war with China. And it'll only be a battle of the bots. And it's going to be amazing. Okay, because no one's actually going to die. It's going to be a battle of wallets and manufacturing. Who can get the most robots? And if you want to talk about GDP, they just need to pay-per-view this thing. Live stream it from a Tesla satellite. And then I'm all about this. Where do we meet? Do we take turns, invading each other's land? Do we do it Civil War style where we just line up face to face, someone honks a horn, and we go at it? WR says drones. Yeah, drones are cool. But you know what's really cool? A bunch of Terminators fighting each other, and we get to live stream it. The only part that would suck is who wins the war gets to decide what happens. You know, that would suck. Robots may happen in 2050. I don't think you're watching anything that's going on with robots. If you think robots are happening in 2050, you should look up Figure 3 and Tesla's Optimus. History written by the victors. Yeah, that's the part that's going to suck. Personally, I don't really agree with how China does things, where everybody just thinks one man is correct. That same man, someone said, looks like Winnie the Pooh, Xi Jinping, and he scrubbed the internet and deleted Winnie the Pooh. So in China, there is not a scrap of existence of Winnie the Pooh because someone said he looked like it. And I can't say it without smiling because that's the most hilarious thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't think that would suck if they win because we would be right behind them. And all of a sudden, there goes, is it Christopher? Christopher, there's the tiger, the little pig, and Winnie the Pooh. They're all gone. AI is the end of civilization. I think it's the beginning. I think it's going to suck at first, but then I think it's going to be amazing after. All right, ladies. Oh, I said I would do NVIDIA and Tesla. Sorry, we got a little sidetrack. I'm supposed to come on here and make it quick. Just do some futures, break things down. By the way, I go live Sundays and Thursdays. If you guys do want to make sure you're subscribed or check it out, there's a good to fair chance you won't get the notification regardless. But if you hit the bell, eventually you'll get notified. Maybe. Where is my buy or sell event for NVIDIA? What somebody said, like, what's my buy levels? Anything sub 100, I'm probably going to be buying a lot. Honestly, the sub 100, and you don't have to ask me. There's no need to wait for a YouTube video. Just know that I bought some that day. It'd be hard not to buy it at 105 down here. Yeah, probably 105. To be clear, I already have NVIDIA. Now, as things crash, and I was going to do my own video, or not my own video. Sometimes I do my own videos. Anyway, what I was going to say is this will be a whole separate video, a longer breakdown. The TLDR, well, I think we're crashing, right? So 20%. The bottom half of that crash, I don't worry about buying the absolute bottom. As a trader, I probably will, just given the timing of things, just like in the Rona crash. But from that 10 to 20% that the S&P goes down, now if it's the Rona and it's like it ends up being 30%, you got to be prepared. You don't want to over allocate for this. But that, what I assume the last half is where I start to accumulate and start buying things. Crashes are where you make the most money because you get the best dip buys. And at the time, no one wants to buy anything. You already heard little Bigsy over here talking about how it's going to be worse than the Great Depression. It's going to happen every time there's a red candle. I don't worry. I'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I'll see you in the food line, you know. But in the meantime, we'll be talking about our positions while we wait for a bowl of rice. But from that 10 to 20% is where I start like, all right, maybe I'll sell some puts. I'll start accumulating shares here and there. We get down to that 20%. You know, I look like that shopper on the TV show. Like I'm just fisting everything into the cart. Like I'm just running my arm down the aisle, buying everything. Praying it doesn't go 30%. That would suck. All right, Amazon. Lately, a lot of people have been asking me about Amazon and Google, and they look very similar. And I actually do like it. Of the two, I would buy Amazon first and then Google. I do like Amazon, and I didn't even know this. I was looking into it. Amazon's also doing self-driving. Is it Los Angeles or San Francisco? Amazon already has self-driving cars, which I thought was wild. I doubt they ever get into Tesla or Waymo's situation, but like Amazon just has everything. And if you think you have something, Amazon's going to buy it. They're going to buy it or they're going to create their own and make sure you land on page like 67, you know, if you go shopping on Amazon for your product. That being said, it's just kind of hard to ignore Amazon on this trend, and we're at these levels. I wouldn't over allocate. I don't think the lows are in, but I think it's it puts up a compelling argument. Are we something similar to 2022? Yeah, it's looking the same, but is it going to be that easy? It's actually not looking the same, to be honest. Which I actually just broke this down in a previous video, because that's what I was saying this whole time. It's like, hey, we're going to crash. It's going to be like 2022, not like 2020. But this correction ended up being one of the top 5 fastest corrections, because we're starting to sell off with some momentum. Like, is this about to be a 2020? Or are we about to limit down this thing? But no, I still think 2022, if not, we're kind of pushing the needle towards 2020. I don't think we get there. For us to have a 2020 crash, Putin would probably have to go off his rocker and send up a couple mushroom clouds. Ripple stock versus XRP meme lawsuit coin. Wait, is there another lawsuit? I bought the dip and it keeps dipping. Was I not supposed to laugh at that? Just in case that was a serious comment. I know someone on TikTok earlier said this is bullish, but I promise you, if you go buying all of these charts, that dip probably going to keep on dipping, because that's bearish. When there's more red candles than green, and guys, I'll make it super simple if you're brand new to trading, more red than green, it's going down. More green than red, it's going up. Now, that's for the visually impaired. You can just have your friend say, hey, which colors are more? But if you're not blind, if it goes from the top left to the lower right, that's down. And if it's going from the lower left to the upper right, that's up. That's likely what your money's going to do. So just, remember that part. The best dip buys will, I know you're not supposed to time the market. It's adorable. But if you were to time the market and maybe go in a little bit heavier while it is lower, you make a lot more money. Anyway, sorry, this whole stream, we didn't talk about aliens, so that's good. But that being said, I did buy puts. I'm hoping that we just full send this thing south. Limit this thing down. If we go to the bread line, if I see you in the bread line, just know that, provided we don't do a Venezuela thing, where it's $4 million for a roll of toilet paper, because I'll probably have $4 million off of the puts that I have. But I got you. If you want a little guac with your rice bowl, I'll see you there. We'll be in line at the same spot. But send this thing south. We're rocking and roll. But I do have to go live. I'm going live with my group after this. On Sundays and Thursdays, we do Zoom, which is why I try to come on here, keep it straight to the point, and then hop off. I can't ignore that question, though. Thoughts on Meta? She's talking about this little money machine. Thoughts on Meta tomorrow? That's not a good look. It looks like it's slowing down. I wouldn't be fooled by this. Meta's my number one position. Absolutely love this ticker. It is a cash cow. But right now, I think it's probably going to get lower. Because you got a green name, I do have to answer you. MSTR. I would be hoping and praying this does not go down to $10. I'm not going to make fun of the people that are in this, but I think this has substantial risk holding. Cult following for sure. It's a software company that has Bitcoin on its balance sheet. Now I know people are buying it like it's a Bitcoin ticker, but it's not. They have a lot of Bitcoin on their balance sheet, and that's cool. But when it comes down, it's like a body with no skeleton. And that's why I say on this one, and don't get me wrong, made an absolute killing on this. Nothing compared to the people that are in my group that trade this a lot. They've suckered me into so many trades, and I've made money on every one of them. But stand by what I say. This is a body with no skeleton. Could hang out just fine. It could just evaporate. Short term, 1 month out. Okay. It's trending down. It's likely just going to hang with Bitcoin for a little bit. And Bitcoin just does not have the buyers right now. We would need to see some, not just Bitcoin go up, but Bitcoin hype. Now, if Bitcoin were to catch some hype, MicroStrategy, Mara, probably going to go up. But if Bitcoin were to just kind of slowly grind its way up, and I have to explain what that yellow zone is, then it's probably not going to catch that move. Kevin Garcia, he says, Tesla. Oh, boy. Listen, I'm about to hop off right now, but I am using TradingView. Go to my YouTube channel, same names, Don Franz Show. And Kevin, you can catch, because I actually broke down Tesla. We did quite a bit of a Tesla conversation. So I don't, if you're on TikTok, I'm not telling you guys to leave the platform and go there. But the cool thing on YouTube is you can rewind it and watch it, where TikTok you can't. So if you miss the live stream, you can always go there and check it out. I know TikTok's precious to you guys. I don't say that sarcastically either. But because you asked for Tesla, I'm about to hop off. Just wanted to say that. Where? Free? Yeah, YouTube's free. I'm on YouTube right now. I'm on YouTube and TikTok. We're at same time, baby. Except for if you turn your phone this way on YouTube, you get the whole screen. It's a lot bigger chart. And I will be, again, I'm about to hop off now, so do all the cool stuff, like, follow, comment, subscribe, all the engagement. YouTube's getting a video every day, but I will be live on Sunday, 1 hour after futures open. So Midship, hang tight. We're going to go live on Zoom. Everyone else, you'll see me Sunday, but you'll see me, what's today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, live Sunday. Have a good one.